Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, so time for another drive and jive, where I drive and I jive about something on my mind. It is January the 2nd, 2024. Happy New Year to one and all. Now, you know there's a saying that goes, start as you mean to go on, right? Hopefully that doesn't apply in this case, because how I'm choosing to start this year, or this year's worth of videos, is with a boring ass video. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, this video is gonna be boring, but I think it needs to be said. I think it's an important video and it needs to be said, and I think there's some of you that need to hear it, especially those of you who are self-employed sole traders. You know, people who are whether you're a plumber, whether you're a driver, whether you're a, like a delivery guy or whatever, self-employed sole trader type business worker type person. I think this especially applies for you. It could apply to other people as well, but I think it especially applies for you guys, because I am self-employed sole trader as well. I've been doing it for many years, and I ain't claiming to be no damn expert, but there's a few things that I've learned over the years. And when I watch some of you guys' videos about how you handle your taxes, I'm like, Eesh, you need to do better. You need to do better. I see people saying things like, yeah, I'll put a little money aside and hope it's enough. Nah, you need to do better. You need to do better, because you don't gotta be no tax expert or nothing, but you should understand taxes to at least a basic level. Because if you don't and you screw up, it's a problem. It's a big problem. So here's the thing. Let me give you some tips, some advice, if I may. First of all, I'm going to put a link in the description to a tax calculator. And what you'll need to do, or what you should be doing, is save that link. First of all, save that link to your favorites or whatever. And then every week or every month, but on a regular basis, you can do it weekly, you can do it monthly, but you need to be doing this on a regular basis. Go to that tax calculator and enter your profit margin. And when you enter your profit margin, select whether it's for the week or for the month or whatever, that kind of thing. And that will let you know your total tax. That will let you know what your total tax for that month is, or for that week is, and what it's expected to be over the course of the year. And it will let you know your national insurance contribution and your income tax, and it will let you know what it would be for that month, and what it's expected to be over the year based on what you input for that month. What you then need to be doing is taking that amount for the month that it lets you know for the month, and putting that into a separate bank account. Don't leave it in your same regular account, because you might spend it accidentally. It's very easy to spend money accidentally where you keep everything together. Put it in a separate bank account. Furthermore, that separate bank account should either be a savings account or an ISA. That way you can make a little money off the interest too. Okay, so take the amount that it gives you for what your taxes for that month, and put that into a separate account, and you do that every single month or every single week. That way, by the time you get to the end of your tax year in April, you'll have enough to cover your taxes, okay? And not just guessing what it might be, but you'll know exactly how much it is, and you'd have the exact right amount. You might even have a little bit more, because you earn a little interest if you put it into an ISA or a savings account. But you'd have enough money to cover your taxes for that year. However, here's some more advice. Don't actually pay your taxes in April. Now, you should file your taxes in April. That way you know what it is for the year, and it will tell you what your taxes for the year, and your national insurance contributions, and your class 1, class 2, and class 4, all that kind of stuff. You'll know that in April if you file it in April, and you should file it in April, but don't actually pay it in April, because you have up until January, which is, by the way, this month, if you're watching this now, to pay your taxes. And the reason why you don't want to pay your tax in April is because, like I said, if you put it into an ISA or a savings account, you're earning money off the interest. So if you keep that money in your account up until January, while still adding to it, because you're still going for the coming year. So you're still adding to it, right? Every month, every week, every month, every week, whatever. And then you're earning more and more money off of that interest in a cash ISA or in a savings account. And then when it comes to January, you have more than enough to cover your taxes, and then you can pay your tax in in January, pay your tax in January, and you're still within time, and you've, paid it. So, to recap, every week or every month, use the link, the calculator, the tax calculator link, to find out what your tax would be for that month. Put that minimum amount into a separate account, preferably an ISA or a savings account. Do that every month. File your taxes in April so you know exactly what you owe, but don't actually pay it until January. Okay, that's what you should be doing. I see too many people not knowing how to handle taxes. And look, you can get an accountant, and that's great if you could get an accountant. I ain't saying that. It's not a bad idea to get an accountant. But whether you get an accountant or whether you do it yourself, it doesn't matter. You need to understand your taxes better than some of you are understanding them, because some of you don't, quite frankly. You're just like guessing. And another thing as well, when it comes to profit, just to be clear, because some of you, your profit is the total amount that you, let me start again, because I think I messed up my own words, but my bad. Your total income minus your total expenditure. That is your profit. And that is what you need to be entering into the calculator. Your total income minus your total expenses. Put that into a calculator. And by the way, another thing when it comes to profit margins, I know, like, when it comes to being self-employed, some people say things like, oh yeah, claim this as part of your business cost, claim this as part of your business cost, because then you have lower taxes, because you have a smaller profit. And that's just true. If you have a smaller profit margin, you have lower taxes. However, it's not necessarily a good idea to make too many, questionable claims on what your business costs are, because if you ever get audited, and especially if you don't have some fancy lawyer or some fancy accountant, which, let's be honest, you probably don't if you're self-employed, sole trader. You might have an accountant, you ain't got no fancy accountant. But unless you got some big-time fancy accountants, some big-time fancy lawyers, you get audited, it's a problem. So, don't do that. Don't do that. Also, like, if your profit margins are low, consistently low, when it comes to applying for things like mortgages or any kind of loans that you might need, it's going to be a problem for that as well. So yeah, it's just not a good idea to be making too many questionable, not necessarily illegal, because taxes can have loopholes and whatnot, but let's just say questionable claims on your profits and expenditures and things like that. So yeah, keep it simple. Keep it clean, keep it to what you could explain, and put your profit margin into the tax calculator. That's going to let you know what your tax would be for that month. Then put the minimum, that amount as a minimum. You could put a little bit more, nothing wrong, put a little more if you can, but that is the minimum you should be putting into a separate account, preferably a cash ISA or a savings account, and then file your taxes in April, and then pay your taxes the following January. You do that, and you should be doing okay. All right, but that's enough of this boring ass video. So until whenever, if ever, peace.